President Obama on tour speaking to college students. He's trying to make some points with college students. It was part of his base because he's losing this battle on popularity over Obamacare. Devin Patrick, I did not see the picture, was telling me about there's a picture out there now of President Obama in the Situation Room talking about health care, talking about Obamacare. That's a Situation Room? Situation Room? I mean, is that, we're not talking about bombing or going to war in the Situation War. We're talking about that. We're not, I can't even bring up the topic of the red line that he drew in the sand, right? In reference to Syria. It's okay. It's okay. Pictures now, confirmation of thousands of children, women, innocent civilians, gassed in Syria. And they're in the Situation Room, and they're talking about it. I got a clip that I almost have to play. I'm not going to play it right now. Devin's panicking, wondering what it's going to be, because I didn't give him a heads up. I'm not going to play it right now, but I have a clip of Ronald Reagan talking about this. Yes, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan giving his opinion about Benghazi, Syria, and Libya. And Egypt, I'm sorry. I have a clip of that. And it's going to make you sick when you hear it, because it's going to make you long even all the more for real leadership of this country. And right now we've got a bunch of compromisers and weasels. I'm going to talk to Mike Lee about, Senator Mike Lee, in the next hour over this Obamacare. A petition of 30 of Republican representatives put forth a petition to Boehner saying they're not going to support any increase or any CR without the defunding. I'm going to talk about what Boehner said with Mike Lee. It wasn't a surprise to me. You've got the master. You got a guy that carries the white flag in his back pocket. Because he's running it up the flagpole so often. So I'm not surprised by what he has said, but it still makes me sick. Because I can't believe. As a matter of fact, I wrote an article. I wrote an article about this very thing. And it's going to be, as a matter of fact, it's on onenewsnow.com. If you go to onenewsnow.com, you can read the article. You don't have to listen to me expound upon it, but you can read the article on onenewsnow.com. It should be up there right now. There's when you go to onenewsnow.com, there's a banner that rotates. It's on that banner that's rotating somewhere. If it's not there, it'll be there any minute, because I just got an email from Jody Brown, the newsroom over there at AFR, in reference to that it was going to be posted there on their banner. So you can read some of the issues there. But we're gonna talk about that with Mike Lee. It is there. Devin just said it is there. So you can take a look at that article in reference to some of those things I said. And we're going to talk about it later, because it's making me more and more sick. And I don't know what to do. I'm getting calls from so many people to get. I don't know what else I can do, but they want me to get out there and do. Listen. I've made myself available. I'm speaking tomorrow morning on it again, and I'm trying to get to rallies and do the best I can. Invite me. I'm going to do everything I can to come to rally the troops. But we need to do this. I have 4 town hall meetings this year. Come out to one of them. Bring your friends. Bring a busload of people. Use it as a rallying point if you'd like. Bring it out. Let me know you're doing it, so I make sure I recognize you and address your Tea Party group or whatever the conservative group is that is coming out to these town hall meetings. Check it out. I think David Vitter is going to come. I'm going to invite Mike Lee. I'm going to invite Ted Cruz. We're going to invite folks to these town hall meetings as we talk about the economy and where we're headed in the future. So I hope you're coming out to them. You go to financialissues.org and click to find out where we are and register. Make sure you register, because we need a head count. I'm a little concerned. We're a little concerned over Tyler, Texas, because we're in a church there, and I don't know how big it is. But, let us know so we make sure we have enough room for everybody. Anyway, let me go to Steve. Steve calling us from Louisiana. Hey, Steve. All right, Steve's not there. Let's go to By the way, 866-300-9298. Let me go to Fred. Fred's calling us from Montana. Hey, Fred.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Good to hear your show this morning.
Thank you.
My kids are asking me about how morally clean ExxonMobil is. I look at all these different large companies that are supporting causes that conservative Christians absolutely don't believe in and what the Bible forbids. And they're asking me, so I guess my question is for you, do you know anything about how morally clean ExxonMobil is?
I sure do. ExxonMobil is a stock that's on my list, so I can tell you it's biblically, they're morally clean. Some might disagree with that. I don't. I've done a lot of research. I have tracked ExxonMobil for 30 years, and they've been on my buy list. They were off for a period of 2 years. And I'll tell you what happened about, I guess it was, I'm losing track of time, but I'm going to say it was 5 years ago. 5 years or so ago, they made a donation to Planned Parenthood, I think, or another organization in reference to abortion. There was backlash, certainly by me and others, and they came out and actually apologized, and they said they would never do it again, and they never have. So,
awesome.
I give them so much credit for that. So far, ExxonMobil is one of the companies that is going to stay in the oil business and stay out of the culture war. That could change with management change, of course, but that's where they are right now. So they are on my list, and they are one of the stocks that I track.
Well, that's good news. I appreciate hearing that. My kids will be glad to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can, there's still some people that have not, that are still not considering them biblically responsible because of that year they made that contribution. And a lot of the biblically there's not a lot out there, but the ones that do track have a 5-year window before they put somebody back in. Well, they apologized, said they'd never do it again. So I put them back on my list. So, but some maybe, haven't done that.
Well,
so good stuff, though.
My father
Your dad?
knows some of the people my dad works for them and knows some of the people in the upper echelons. And he said, they've got very good leadership and they're very sound and very good conservative people. And they do the right thing. So that kind of confirms that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Thank you, Fred. I appreciate your calling. And, folks, I just ask companies, look, just do what you do. If you drill for oil, drill for oil. Let American Family Association and and let the radical groups fight the culture war. You guys do what you do. And I don't understand why that's how they can get so bored with what they do that they feel they've got to enter in to the culture war because of the threats they're getting from the left. 866-300-9298. Let me go to Dennis. Dennis calling us from Mississippi. Hey, Dennis.
Hi, Dan. Appreciate you taking my call. Listen, I talked to you a couple of weeks ago. I was talking to you about Congressman Harper in Mississippi. And
yes, sir.
I wanted to let you know he was right, or you were right. He had came out originally and said that he was on, vote for defunding Obamacare in the resolution. But evidently he's let Banger and them sway him the other way. He's not having any town hall meetings. He's just meeting with some constituents one-on-one. And everybody up there, they were trying to tell me, well, it's not going to do any good, doing that. It's going to shut down the government. It's going to take about 2 years, even if they did it, for it to start taking any effect. And I called him this morning and told him, I said, well, if that's the way he's going to do, I'm not going to vote for him next time, and I'm going to try and raise somebody up, to go against him, because I said, you need to put your signature where your mouth is.
Amen, brother. Man, I appreciate you doing that, Dennis. And, I do know that. Another representative from Mississippi, what's his name, Devin? Yeah, Nunley, came out and said the same thing. I mean, come on, these guys, and Harper shouldn't even be there, number one, because he should have got knocked out last election, because he was also one that compromised on funding Planned Parenthood. He was all against that until Boehner talked him out of it the last time they raised the debt ceiling, when they raised the debt ceiling in 2010, and he voted for that. This is your Tea Party conservative. He got reelected. And he's probably going to get reelected in November. Those people, all you people still reelect him. He's already proven that he's a compromiser. So let me ask you something. How strong are the values that he says he stands upon if he can compromise them that quickly? And I'm not just talking about him. I'm talking about all of them in general. They don't have any convictions. They don't have any convictions. They're going to say, oh, well, you can't do it. I know the talking points. Well, you can't do it. Good luck with that. Boehner had the nerve to say, well, we're going to fight this. We're going to continue to fight this Obamacare. Yeah, okay. Once you get 30, 40 million people on the rolls, you're going to fight it? Let me see how strong. You don't have the backbone to defund Planned Parenthood of $350 million. It's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. You don't even have the backbone to do that. And we believe that you're going to have the backbone to tell 50 million people they no longer have health care because we're going to fight against Obamacare. Good luck with that. Does anybody out there believe that? Does anybody out there believe this is our last chance? Once this thing gets fully implemented and all these folks get through the exchanges and are on this health care, there's not a Congress, Republican or Democrat in the country, in the world, that is going to vote to just throw people out on the street without any health care. And trust me, the administration knows that. So it drives me crazy. 866-392-98, 866-392-98. If you got a financial question, you want to talk about something that is dramatically impacting our economy and markets, we'd love to hear from you. 866-392-98. Let me go to David. David's calling us from Texas. Hey, David.
Hey, Dan. Thanks for taking my call, and thank you for what you do. Hey, my question is on the market. We talking about how the government or Fed is propped up.
We lost David. David, let's put you back on hold there, brother. We must have lost you because maybe you got a bad cell. So we'll try to get back to you, and if we can, or I think we just lost you. Anyway, 866-392-98, 866-392-98. You're listening to American Family Radio, Financial Issues. David had a question about the markets, but I didn't hear the second part. He was breaking up. So, that's always the way. Just as soon as you get through, you end up, going in a bad area, unfortunately. All the major indices in positive territory right now. The Dow is up 8, NASDAQ's up 13, the S&P's up 2. So not a lot of movement, but they're all in positive territory. There are some that believe that what has happened in interest rates don't make any difference. It's not a big deal. It's not something we should be concerned about. You know how I feel about that. I don't believe that, even for a second. It does make a big difference. And nobody else maybe seems to be too worried about that. But certainly all of us should be. And, I'm just not sure if I understand why people might think it's not a big deal. When you take an interest rate that we have today and think about just our debt alone. So at the start of May, the U.S. government could borrow money for 10 years for 1.6% interest. Now they're paying 2.8% interest. If we go back to May, someone buying a new home for $200,000, the interest rate was about $566 a month. Today, it's about $766 a month. And you really think we're going to recover our economy when every time you turn around, we see more and more discretionary income being lost? And right now, we're in a situation that if we get anywhere near normalized interest rates, headed towards 4.5%, the United States government's going to be paying $1 trillion just in interest to service their debt. You don't think that's going to mean something? I don't know if you remember the 1987 stock market crash. I remember it very well. It was in October. when it crashed. Some say the reason it crashed was because Treasury notes jumped 45% in their yield. Today, compared to March or May, they've jumped 80%. The Fed caused the crash of 87, and the Fed will cause the next crash. Let me see if we can get back to David. He's called back. Hey, David.
Hey, Dan. Thanks for taking my call, and again,
Sure.
thank you for what you do every day. Hey, my question is, I
Sure.
hear you talk about the Fed propping up this market, which they've done, and the looming effects of Obamacare. Do you recommend for a long-term investor to continue to stay in this market, or is there a time coming up, do you think, that we're going to look at exiting the market? And if you're calling for staying in, are you looking at just dividend-paying stocks right now?
Yeah, great question, David. I put out an alert to my partners on Wednesday night saying it's time to start thinking about getting out. And it's time to start thinking about reinforcing your cash position. So I didn't say yet, but I do foresee a sign where I could say get out totally. I would not be a buyer on this dip. I like buying on a dip, but not this dip. I'm going to finish up my thoughts on that, David. Hang in there. I'm going to finish up my thoughts as soon as we get back from the break. It's an important issue. Financial Issues, 866-392-98.